Welcome to Book Talk for Book Talk with Jac and Amy, a literary podcast where we deep dive into the writings of your favorite novels. This spring, we're hosting a book club while we prepare our 10-part literary analysis of Sarah J. Maas's Crown of Midnight. This is Jac.
And I'm Amy. And each week we'll discuss one book from our spring book club roster. By using our literary background, we'll provide our flash analysis of each book as well as discuss listener thoughts.
This week, we're discussing Nine-Tailed by Jayci Lee.
The views expressed by the hosts are entirely their own and in no way represent the thoughts or intentions of the original author. This podcast is a discussion shared to spark thought and conversation on the characters and themes of this novel. The interpretations presented in this podcast are just a few of many possibilities. Listeners are encouraged to read along and share their own analysis of the text.
Though the hosts speak mostly within the constraints of this book, serious spoilers may be discussed with or without warning. Explicit language as well as themes of sex, violence, abuse, depression, self-harm, and death will recur throughout this podcast. Listener discretion is advised. All right, here we are, 30 minutes after we're hitting record. If anyone wants to listen to a very heavy discussion of our own frustrations of where we are in today's political landscape, please go to our Patreon.
American political landscape.
Yeah. Also, if you're watching this and if I somehow manage to post a clip, like, damn, Jac doesn't have an inch of makeup on. I know. My face is going through some things right now and it needed I can't clutter it.
I really honestly expected you to say, that's not true. I've got pink lip gloss on.
What Amy said. Absolutely. My pink lip gloss, which is now all over my LaCroix, and I actually was like, now that it's faded, it kind of looks like my whole mouth is red. Really kind of, or not red, but pink and kind of irritated. So now I'm just like, all right, I should just stop letting my face exist in its way. So yeah, but we're here to talk about a book.
Nine-Tailed.
I'm excited to talk about this. Hands up, bitches. We are bitches. All right. 10 words or less. Amy, go.
A sassy, funny Asian protagonist that represented culture really well.
Oh, love it. A fun. That finger doesn't want to stay down. I'm like watching it twitch on its own. That was weird.
It has a mind of its own.
It kind of was like, what are you doing? A fun romantasy that brings a beautiful culture to light.
Love it.
Yeah. All right. And the new thing that we're doing.
Themes.
I was trying to think of themes.
Well, we have a similar theme as when we discussed Lord of the Wilds, and I think that's identity.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And running from, in this case, it's different though. Instead of searching for your ancestral ties, it's running from your ancestral ties.
Yeah.
And being pulled back in.
Yeah, familial and ancestral ties, just always having that grip onto you, having that grip. I would also say that culture, and I don't want to be like Korean culture is a theme, although it is, like that sounds like a very generic thing, but it is. And I kind of want to say the reason why I'm saying culture rather than just like specific, Korean culture, which is a big integral part of this book, is that there is a mysticism and a celebration of folklore that, that Jayci and our protagonist Sunny mentions, like, oh, like you don't even want to meet a minotaur or unicorns, like, implying that in other cultures, other folklore exists as well. So that's kind of like folklore within itself is also another theme.
Yeah, which there was this throwaway line that I freaking loved that was about Greek gods, and they're like, those guys are like superheroes. They're in the U.S. public education system. Like nobody can take them down.
That would make stick with you. You're like,
I'm like, oh yeah, you're right.
You're like, I feel this. That's hilarious. Once that, like early on when she said that, I was like, oh, Jayci, if she really wanted to, she could create a whole series in this world.
Yeah.
That world being our world and being able to pull and just kind of having like yep, they all exist.
Yeah.
Is
And
incredible.
yeah, I thought it was great. They all exist within our worlds and their own realms,
Yep.
and all the magic is tied together. And it's
Love
only
it.
humans that disrupt it.
Not us though, you and me. We are
Not
magic.
us.
We just haven't had our talismans broken yet. Mine somewhere. Mine's probably 14 karats gold. If you guys don't understand, if you go to the Patreon, I have very sensitive skin, and I was told by a dermatologist I can't have anything less than 18 karat gold on me. That sounds so, but she said preferably 24 karats. Okay. My talisman is probably 8 karats.
You can't touch it.
I can't even touch it. I'll break out into a rash immediately. Yeah, I thought that the world was really cool because it starts off with not it being in this world, right? It kind of has that more fairy tale-esque, folklore-esque beginning to it. And then once it started, and I was like, wait a minute, is this in this world? Because I don't read the back to see what it's about. I just kind of went right into it. And then it was like in Las Vegas, and I was like, yes, because I love when romantasy brings this world right here into the mix, and we don't see that really much or often.
Not very often, definitely. And I think Jayci did the right thing as an American reader. But even, you don't even have to be from America or have ever been to Las Vegas, because she knows the likelihood of you not being familiar with Korean culture is very high.
Yeah.
And so you're going to be overwhelmed with those references. So let us give you something that tethers you to this book that you understand, and that is your own world. Like, it is a brilliant balance of familiar and unfamiliar.
And to have it be in Vegas, which is a place that even if you've never been, we've all seen movies, we've all seen postcards. Like, we know, everyone knows Vegas.
All you have to have done is watched Ocean's 11 and you're fine.
The Hangover.
So that's
like,
I've never watched The Hangover, but you're right.
You've never watched The Hangover?
I never did. Even though they called us The Hangover, like, remember in college, you, me, and were compared to The Hangover when we went to. Oh, really?
We were?
Wait,
which one was Alan? Because that's a concerning.
I've never watched it, so I can't tell you.
Wait, who did that? Who compared us?
It was some of the people in the creative writing group, because we went our spring semester of
I know, and then we kind of. I mean, yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, I think they said to me, I bet you're the one that gets lost." Really? Which is so not me.
But does that mean I'm Bradley Cooper?
I think you were Bradley Cooper.
So long as neither of us were Alan, that's okay.
Who was Alan?
Zac Galifianakis.
Galifianakis. I don't know.
Galifianakis. You know Zac Galifianakis.
My cat's just looking at me like, what the fuck?
Mommy's talking about her heyday.
No, I don't think either of us were.
Well, the person that we went to Vegas with, she was whoever was passed out and was kind of ditched at. That's who she'd be. Anyway, in a safe space, don't judge us. Okay, so you know where Vegas is. Back to the book. So you know where Vegas is, no matter where you've been. And yeah, like it really was grounding, because it took you then to Korea, and then from Korea to this amazing other world that even in this other world is still based in Korean mythology.
Yeah. The part where Sunny and Ethan get to Korea and they're experiencing Korea, and then Sunny's experiencing the other realms. And all the descriptions of Korean culture. I listened to that part of the book right after I got back from Korea.
I thought about you while listening to this a lot.
Yeah. So for me, it was very, very fun to listen to, because I'm like, oh, I know what a Hanok is, and I know what that is, and I can see it. So that was a lot of fun. But that's a privileged position that I'm in, and I understand that.
Yeah, when you listen to this book, make sure you have just come back from Korea. I understood quite a bit of this in, like, not a lot, but I have been watching K-dramas since I was a teenager, and I didn't even know I was watching a K-drama. I just was like, what genius is this? This is incredible. And ever since then, I'm very, I watch a lot of K-dramas, and like you and we watch a lot of K-dramas, and I think just through that I've learned a lot. Like, I knew what a nine-tailed fox was. I knew that, like, what a goblin kind of is considered. There's a lot of that in Korean dramas that can, like, reference it, and even like hanboks, like the
A
clothing.
handbook?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the traditional clothing. It's like I knew what it was immediately, the description of it. So it's kind of like I don't think, all that to say is, neither of us, neither you and I, Amy, could tell a listener who knows nothing about Korea what that experience is like, because you have a much better base understanding. I have a light base understanding, but neither of us were going into this unaware. Like, when they're talking about like gimbap, and I was like, yes,
Gimbap.
gimbap, bulgogi, hell yeah.
Bulgogi.
Bulgul. I don't order at restaurants. I have you order for me.
I do order
You
for
do.
you.
I sit and I don't even, I was about to say, I sit and point at the menu. I don't even do that. I just sit.
And you go, uh-huh, uh-huh.
I just look away, and I'm like, you'll take care of me.
And did you order the spicy noodles?
Yeah, that's all I ask for. I want pork belly and spicy noodles. We should go back to that place. Anyway, it's a great way to experience a new culture, even if you don't know what is necessarily being described. I think it's still
Yeah.
worth it to, like, if you don't know what what the traditional dress is like, Google it while you're reading.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like,
Yeah.
she does a good job describing it, but you may not know until you've seen it. And I think this is one of those books that is completely worth, like, pause and Google while you're going through it.
What I like too is that even from the narrative, Sunny or the narrator takes time to slow down and explain things.
Yeah.
So it actually is extremely accessible. It's not like books. And there are books that do the opposite really well, where they just kind of throw you in and you have to figure it out as you go, and you just do.
Yep.
That's not this book. This book takes the time to explain things to you because it assumes you know nothing. It never slowed down the pace of the book for me. I really appreciated how accessible it was. And I knew that if I knew less than what I actually know, I still would have enjoyed it.
Agreed. I think what she accomplishes really well, and it also, made me think of another theme, is the fact that Sunny has been away from Korea for so long. So it's also a reintroduction for her, because Sunny left Korea, our protagonist. She left Korea hiding on the run, thinking that people were after her. And she came to America and was immediately like, I can't be found. I have to suppress who I am, which is her nine-tailed fox. And you can look at that as being a metaphor for her Koreanness, right? And it's just a lot of times you'll get, whether people who've immigrated to America or the children of people who've immigrated to America, and they feel like the thing they have to do is suppress their culture and their heritage and become white or American, whatever that looks like to them. And that's what they have to do. And I can see that being a metaphor, right, of Sunny suppressing her own nine-tailed fox spirit abilities to be as passable as human, is the same to me as, like, someone who's trying to suppress their own culture to be as white passing or American passing as possible.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you caught it, but there's also a period where she's like, because she's 132 years old, and she says when she first immigrated at the age of 18, there was a period of time where she disguised herself as male because she knew it wasn't safe to be a single female. And so talk about the layers and layers of hidden identity and suppression of identity.
Yeah.
In order to survive.
Yep. Let's say 132 years from this year ago. Amy, math.
132 from right now.
Yeah.
1913. Right before
that's not
World War I.
That's not a great time for it. Thank you, Amy. That's, again, welcome to what restaurant it is with me and Amy.
No. I totally did that wrong. It's 1893.
Should I take out my phone?
Wait, I can do math.
No, I know you are. You're so good.
1893.
Okay, 1893. Even worse.
Even worse.
Even worse. I mean, and she talks about not speaking English and to the point where she just wouldn't speak at all because it would be even scarier to not be speaking English, right? To let people think that you don't understand or have an accent even, you know what I mean? And it's very sad. It made me think of like this like every once in a while I'll see these like Instagram or TikTok videos of women saying, watch me as I stop wanting to be white. And you see these like photos of them when they were like 19 or 16 and their hair is all straight. And then as they get older, their natural hair comes out. They stop, trying to look a certain way, and then natural hair comes in and it's just beautiful, right? And that just feels like it was a very similar journey where we got to see Sunny love her culture again. And when she goes back to her house with her mom that her and her mom lived at, it was a very traumatic experience for her. It was traumatic the way that she lost her mom. But I felt like you can see her really feeling at home, not just in her childhood home, but in the culture as well. Yeah, so it was Sunny going back home to her childhood home was a beautiful time because, she got to feel embraced again, not just from her childhood home, but like the memory of her mom, but also like again falling in love again with her own culture.
Yeah, and what I liked about it is that was kind of a slow progression, but right, because they first arrive in South Korea, she meets the Gimbap lady.
Yeah.
They progress into North Korea, they escape to her home. So she has this slow introduction. It's like, oh yeah, I remember loving these things. And she's starting to speak Korean again full time. So it was a nice progression. And then she's forced into a situation that should be traumatic for her, but she's like, oh, I remember the simple joys of this life.
Yeah.
And it very easily, I also felt like it was an education in how people brush their teeth during that time.
It was like, salt? That's what I'm supposed to use?
Yeah, now I know in case of emergencies.
Well, even also it was just like, when was North Korea established?
In the 50s, during the Korean War.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned that in this book when she was like, well, 130 years ago or 100 something years ago, there wasn't two Koreas. I was like, what?
Yes, the 38th parallel was established during the Korean War in 1953 because the South Koreans asked America to come help, and we went and fought that war.
What's the 38th parallel? Is that the name of the...
That's the name of the line that separates.
Oh, wow.
It's at the 38-degree latitude.
Wow. There's something about you adjusting your seat right after that was perfection.
Us Americans have really been really involved in world politics in a way that we really didn't need to be.
Oh my God. Yeah, we really don't need to be. Like, there's a reason why it's all fucked up, Anyway, let me tell you about what they did to Chile another time. They love a coup. They love a coup. So yeah, I thought that like there was a lot of little historical moments where I was like, oh, like I learned there too. But what I also found to be appealing, and maybe this is something that helps the reader, no matter who the reader is, feel connected to Sunny, is that even in Korea, even within this other mystical world, Sunny is still excluded. And Sunny still doesn't know the truth of everything or the extent of everything. And I think that's a very smart thing for Jayci to have done, because now, it's not like Sunny is this expert and I can't relate to this expert.
Right.
Sunny is just as confused as I am in points.
Yeah, because a lot of information was willfully withheld from her by her mother for a variety of reasons that you discover by the end of the book. But I agree. I think making her an outsider, not only making her an outsider, making her identity basically shit on. Like, she is the lowest of the low of creatures that could possibly be a spiritual creature, right? She is not as good as their equivalent of the angels. She's not as good as their gods. I agree. She's ostracized. She doesn't know the world.
Yep.
and she's been separate from it for 100 years. We are no different at
Yeah.
the end of the day.
Yeah. And it makes it easier. It totally makes it easier for a reader to, I think, get involved in a culture, in a book that has, I mean, it's the same way as like, I know Greek mythology because we grew up on it because it, talk about Western education and Western, focuses.
Yep.
And, we don't have to explain that to ourselves as much. Someone coming in who may not understand it at all might be confused, but you
Right.
don't have to have that same intimate understanding in order to go into this book. And I think that you still have a lot of like, just it's still very rich. Like, it's just such a rich, culturally rich book, and the lore, based off of folklore, based off
Mm-hmm.
of Korean mythology, is still so good. Like, you don't have to know everything, guys. Like, take a risk, take a chance, go ahead and read it.
Take a chance on me.
Da-da-da-da-da.
The other thing that makes it so enjoyable are Sunny and Ethan.
Yeah. Ooh, I have. No, go ahead. I had a lot of thoughts, but I'm keeping them in.
What? I want to know these thoughts.
No, you
Okay,
tell me your
let's
thoughts.
start with Sunny. She was the highlight for me. She was
Yeah.
sassy. She was irreverent, not only in her interactions with others, but also her internal dialogue. And I also appreciated how she struggled and those struggles were vocalized.
Yeah.
I think that in an environment where the reader might be so unfamiliar with the historical or mythological context of what's
Mm.
going on, I think it's helpful for the narrator and or the protagonist to really spell out their thought
Yeah.
processes. So
Yeah.
there's a lot less second guessing your character, your protagonist, and what their motivations are.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed Sunny. I love that she was 132 years old. I
Mm-hmm.
love that Ethan was not. I kind of
Yeah.
love that reverse age gap
Yeah.
thing. Although initially I was like, ew, she knew him when he was 16 and now she's all attracted to him. Like, that's kind of gross. And I was like, you know what? We got to pass. Like, that happens with so many male characters and men in real life that, like,
Yeah, it's true.
you could, like, you know what, Sonny? Get it. Like,
Yeah. I feel like Jayci Lee, the author, really wanted to go in and subvert all the norms of
yeah.
romantasy. Like, instead of a 500-year-old man and a 19-year-old girl, let's make it a 100-year-old woman and a 24-year-old guy.
Yeah. Who she knew when he was 16. Yeah.
Right, right. But she's still going to be the virgin. He's going to be
Yeah.
the unexperienced.
I don't know how if I liked her being a virgin.
That's fair.
I don't know how. Okay, so I'm gonna process my thoughts. I always kind of get very like, why does the woman have to be a virgin? Like, why is it kind of almost like, a lot of times it's done in an infantilizing way, and I will give props. It didn't feel infantilizing here.
Yeah, it didn't. For me, I understood how much her safety and security and peace of mind was reliant
Yeah.
on suppressing her nature. And
Yeah.
I think it's inherent for a woman who does not feel safe to withhold sex.
Yeah. And that's where, like, yes, my gut reaction is always kind of like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, why does sex have to be, once again, withheld by women? And this is an instance, like you said, where if she doesn't feel safe, if she's never felt safe, why would you put yourself in one of the most vulnerable situations you could possibly be in?
Yeah.
And I can appreciate that. It's always not with where I'm like, come on, be a little, like, show him. You know what I mean? Like, you tell him what to do. But, like, I did appreciate her being older. I will call her. We only got a minute with Draco the dragon for a heartbeat. I will love this dragon. I will love this character till, like, so good.
So good. He reminded me of my youngest sister. Like, the sass on that dragon.
Teenage dragon. How old are you? How old are you? And just by that, I knew he was a teenager. Like, and then at the very end, he was like, do you think anyone's gonna save that super old fox? Like, that, like, super old woman there.
I loved it.
That's
so
why I brought
good.
him up, because it was like, oh, because she's 132. That's super old.
Yeah.
Old fox woman. What's funny is, like, the one thing that I was kind of getting annoyed at with with Sunny was this idea of, is Ethan lying to her? Is he not lying to her? And she was questioning if he knew or not. And I was like, come on, like, of course he's not like, you're being paranoid for no reason. And I just kind of was like, as I was listening, just kind of being a little hard on Sunny. I was like, oh my God, like, you're just looking for something where there's not there. And even like kind of translating it to like, come on, Jayci, like, let's move past this. And then towards the end where I'm like, oh shit, he did know. But then he also didn't know. And so I was like, so I can appreciate that, where it was like one of those, I'm like, come on, Sunny, like, get over yourself, / come on, Jayci.
Yeah.
This is easy. Like,
Yeah.
you're not like, okay, we're doing this trope. But then again, she goes against the trope, and it was like, aha, she's in fact correct, but wrong, but not wrong.
Right. Or like my mother says, we're both correct.
Yeah. But it was funny where all of a sudden it's like, wait, he does know? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm sorry, Sunny. I was going too hard on you.
I can understand how it would get annoying. I wasn't annoyed because I had a feeling. I was like, it's true he didn't know, and it is also true there was a point where he did begin to know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it also makes sense for the character, because the character has been on the run for 100 years, 118 years, 116 years. So, okay, you get a pass, Sunny.
Yeah. I'll allow it this time. Now, I like Sunny as a person. I like Ethan, I think. I will say their instant love and attraction is always going to be like, a moment where I'm like, like, make me yearn a little bit more. You know what I mean? And I know that's not just me. I was going through some reviews because I don't think any of our listeners have read this. I highly encourage you guys to read it. So I was
highly encouraged.
I do. Like, even if you're listening to all the spoilers, I still think you go and listen.
Yeah.
But I was going through some reviews, and a lot of people in the reviews were saying you have that instant, immediate, like, I'm so attracted to them, I can't not. And I can be okay with that. But then why introduce a third act love interest? And I feel like I'm just recovering from Lore of the Wilds when it comes to that, of like, why are you doing this to me in this like third act love interest if you want me to be supportive of this relationship? So it's like you introduce this like instant chemistry, and I will believe the fated mates. There's like a certain destiny element around the two of them, so I can believe that they're destined to kind of be together. And there's like, a force where it's like, okay, the instant love, the instant attraction, the fated of it all, I can be on board with that. It's like, okay, it is what it is. But then you introduce this other guy, and you have this like, I shouldn't be blushing, but I am with him, and he's so tall, I shouldn't be noticing how tall he is. And I just get like that. I think that kind of, I struggle a lot when it comes to those like dynamics, because it's like you're doing both in one book, and I think doing both in one book is very hard to do. All right, hand it off to you.
Sure. So I see what you're saying. I for once didn't mind it.
Okay.
And I think it's because I think Jayci did such a good job subverting tropes that I think there's going to be payout in the next book. I think she's setting something up for the next book. So obviously the fated mates thing is screaming loud in our face, right?
Yeah.
I think the whole destined to kill her, spoiler, is a nice curveball. And for once, the first love interest might not really be endgame. Like there's a real true potential in my mind for that to be the case.
You know what's funny is like, I feel like people doing the first love interest being the original love interest is now the unusual thing, right? Because you're saying for once the first love interest isn't the main. I'm like, you don't really get that anymore. I mean, I guess you still do with some, but it's just now it's like the second you have a second attractive guy in the book, and I'm like, there's the new love interest.
Yeah, but for me that's usually the case when it's not a real love triangle. This is a genuine love triangle.
Oh, okay.
When it's a genuine love triangle, it's always the first guy, right? But then when it's the second love interest, it feels like there's more of a division between the first and the second love interest in my brain. Maybe not, but I don't know. I didn't mind it. I think...
What are you messing around over there with your microphone?
Sorry. I don't know. I didn't really mind it. It didn't bother me.
It didn't bother me enough where I'm like, I upset, and I don't like either of them. I'm willing to go either way. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of like, all right, I'll go. I don't hate Ethan. There's nothing about Ethan that's like, oh God, he's so annoying. I hate that he's lying, because it's like, well, he's not really lying, and he's trying to figure it out, and he got all these memories and a heartbeat, and now he's trying to figure out his destiny and his own journey and everything. I guess where it comes down to, and this is more of a compliment to Jayci, I would have liked Ethan disappearing and getting our time with
Jihoon.
Okay, thank you. Jihoon. I would have liked, I'm looking at my notes, I would have liked getting time with Jihoon and the company there more earlier, a lot earlier. Because I think that found family, that like, because at one point at the end, she was like, my friends, are these my friends? I think these are my friends. And I think we made it clear that she was with them for less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's like, I would like to have had, and those were a really rich group of characters, really interesting, really well written group of characters that I want more time with.
Yeah, I agree. I don't feel like Ethan needed to be found in this book.
Yeah.
Quite frankly. I think it would have been okay for them to have the fight with the antagonist, that final showdown with the antagonist. I feel like could have happened without Ethan. Like they could have been following Ethan's trail and happened upon the antagonist rather than Ethan.
Yeah.
So I agree. I really, really liked the characters. I liked Jihoon and his friends. I liked how the scholar one,
Mihyun, I think,
yeah, how she tested her theory by nearly killing
Sunny. Her, and in the heart, and then just Sunny being like, can't even lift her arms, like, what the hell? Like, what was that? And it was funny. It was done very well.
It was funny. I think that Jayci did a really good job with you don't actually know where the plot is going to take you.
Yeah.
There was always a surprise waiting for you around the corner.
Yeah, getting stabbed in the heart definitely threw me off, where I was like, oh, that's interesting. Or I just like, you should feed her a rice cake. And it's like, she likes her. She didn't offer me a rice cake. That's, wow, look at that. That's impressive. Like, I guess they like her. Yeah. And I also feel like we had more Jihoon. There was times with Jihoon that we didn't get a lot of his personality, but when we did, it was so much personality. As it should have been. I don't think he's a character that should show a lot of personality. So when you get those little snippets of it, it does mean a lot more. And that was done very well. And again, like, I'm thinking about the historical K-dramas that I've seen, and they have like the hat with the mesh around it. So I picture him very well in my head.
Yeah, he's a good stoic character. He's that traditional Asian stoic character who is straight-faced deadpan all the time, until he gets really annoyed by his friends and then like goes over the top.
Yeah. And I think that he also was good at teasing her. So sometimes when you get these like straight deadpan characters, the only time they crack is when the main heroine makes a joke and they're not actually funny, but they just kind of like laughing at the main heroine, which is like fine. But I found him to be funny. Like, I found some of his jokes that he made where he was like, we were just having a discussion, and she's like, the fuck, we were having a discussion. This was a disagreement. Like, I was trying to kill him, and he's like, this was just an internal dispute. And she's like, but he's like trying to say it with a straight face. So I thought he was really funny. And I think that getting stoic characters to be actually funny is a very hard thing to do.
I agree. And Jayci did it. I think she did a great job with him.
I would have liked that to have happened in the 50% mark.
Yeah. That's fair. I definitely, reflecting on it, I was both surprised at how much we got of Jihoon and his friends, because so much book had already happened.
Yeah.
That I felt like, is this not part of another book? And you're right. It needed to happen before the 60% mark. It needed to happen sooner, or it needed to be part of the second book. So if I had advice for Jayci, maybe I would say beef up the time with Ethan and Sunny more before they get to Korea, and end the book when Ethan disappears.
I think you could have had this book be the exact same outline, except when Ethan disappears happens at the 50% mark. You just have to get through that first half, make it a very intense, build up. I think she could have like cut out some of the, going to
The Cypress,
maybe kind of getting rid, like either trimming that down or, getting the gimbap. Like I know there's a lot of parts that which make it all very good, right? Like all of those were very good, very vital parts. It does add a lot to it, or just make this a bigger book. You know what I mean? Like, which is unfortunate. Like, I know people try to like not make it a huge book, but I think that there was just so much value to Sunny entering this new world and discovering, because not only is Sunny discovering this new world, she's discovering that her mom, like she's in active denial about whether her mom knew about this world or not. Because there's so many times where she was like, my mom knew? No. There's no way she could have known. She wouldn't have lied to me.
Yeah.
But and then there's like things that she's learning that her mom has taught her that is strange, that people are like, wait, you know it by this name?
Yeah.
That's no one's called it by this name in forever type thing. There's a lot of fun elements when you have a new world and you have a lot of like learning happening. Like the handmaid who was putting on makeup by holding flower petals to her face to get the right color.
Yes. So good.
I was great. I love that. I want more of it. Give me 10 chapters, please. So, and especially since I really, you don't hear me say this often, but getting those female connections, you know how I love that. I believed Haley and Sunny. Although you might forever note is stop making characters outright say, I like her. I just can't. I can't. That's my forever note. That's for every book, every movie. I hate it with a burning passion. I like her. It's no.
Yeah.
No.
Do it through action, not through words.
Yeah. Just do it through actions. But like, and that's the thing where it's like, Jayci, you did do it through actions. I didn't need those words. You had those are words you could say for another thing. But like I believed in that friendship. I believed in Haley as a, not supporting character. Yeah. I was like protagonist, antagonist. No, supporting. Isn't there another name?
Secondary character?
Secondary, I guess. Yeah. But, just as another supporting, like I thought Haley was a very good one because this is a very male dominated cast.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it is a very male-dominated cast. It didn't bother me. And I think the reason why it didn't bother me as much is because there's so many snippets of the past in between chapters or in between vital parts that we got to see so many different perspectives, many of which are female, that I felt a connection. And I do think we need to talk about structure at some point.
Yeah, let's do it.
So unlike some stories where we've seen snippets of the past, but it's all told from one perspective, we're seeing snippets of the past from different perspectives and in different timelines.
Yep.
And I really enjoyed that because it always, I think someone could call it heavy-handed. I'm not calling it heavy-handed because I think when Jayci uses it, she uses it intentionally to give the reader information that is about to become relevant or helps the reader understand the twist, right? I think it added a nice depth to the story other than just the narrative that we're getting through Sunny.
Yeah. I agree. One, with your point about not needing more female characters, I agree with that. My normal argument is not there. And two, with the point and the purpose of each of these interludes, these, kind of these snippets that we're getting, I think those are always kind of hard to do because how much are you willing to reveal there? Because some of the surprise that's happening there, which you would think you'd want it to be revealed in the chapter, and Jayci wasn't afraid of letting some of those shocking twists happen there. And that was worth it. That is a choice that I think a lot of authors might not have made. Like they might want that big reveal to happen in the chapter itself. And I think that Jayci laid out some of her cards in those little snippets and those moments, and it worked really well. It worked perfectly.
I agree. And I think it goes back to what we were saying earlier, which is it helps ground the reader. It helps give the reader advance notice of something before Sunny knows it, especially with Ethan's identity. I felt like we got so much more information before Ethan or Sunny got information that we then got to enjoy the process of them trying to figure it out.
Yep.
And I liked being in the know. I liked having that information and getting to be surprised multiple times.
I think one of the best ones, an example for that would be when we got Ben's perspective. And we had clues leading us up to that moment. Some of it was just kind of like, okay, we could guess, but then we also found out a lot there. And everything that was revealed there, I was happy for it to be revealed again. You know, there was nothing there that I was like, oh, well, I already learned about this. Oh, I already know what happens. It's like, no, I want more. I want it. It was just enough of a reveal for you to kind of get an understanding of what's going on. But now I want to see, well, how are the characters going to handle it? Did Ethan actually think Ben was his brother growing up? You know, was that truly who he thought was part of his family, was his brother?
Yeah.
Only to find out that it was someone who was assigned to him his whole life to take care of him. And that's hard, you know, having to cope through that. But also, was Ben in love with Sunny? Because at one point he says, like,
my love.
Again, this is one of my like little mini notes. Why does everyone have to be in love with the protagonist, with the main female? However, I forgive it because I like it.
There was also this moment where it's like, is he calling Ji-hoon his love?
I wasn't sure about that too. Because at one point he said my love, and I'm willing to believe that it wasn't Sunny.
I'm willing to believe that it was Ji-hoon. I'm willing to believe, because he calls him his bond brother, but I'm also willing to be like, also his your
bone brother,
bed lover.
Yeah,
I don't
your bond brother or your bedtime lover.
Yeah, exactly, or both.
Bone brother. Yeah, there was a moment where I was like, wait, are you in love with Sunny? Are you in love with someone else?
Yeah.
Because I enjoyed this book, this is something that would be a normal sticking point for me, where it's like, oh, everyone just has to fall in love with this female character. Oh my God. Even if it was the case, I'd still be willing to look it, like, I'm like, it's not my favorite trope to happen. Like, it is one of those things that, like, it's the same way where it's like, I really like her. It's like, oh my God, stop it. The same thing where it's like, every guy who meets her is in love with her. It didn't, even if it's not my favorite idea, it doesn't stop me at all from wanting to go forward.
I think it's because we only have to see it one time.
Yep. There you go. Found it. Fixed it.
He's already dead.
Thank God.
He's already been dead.
Yeah.
So everything's in the past. And I think that what is palatable about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it makes it, I'm happy that Sunny wasn't in love with him either, you know? Because then I'd just be like, why are you going for his little brother? Because now he's older. Yeah. I've read plenty of books like that in reverse. So
it's true.
Who am I? I mean, there was a moment where I was like, oh, and then I caught myself. I was like, nope. Let's internalize misogyny. Women can go after young guys too.
Yep. Dahlia is rifling through her litter. I should probably let her out so that we can have some silence.
Where's the litter box?
We have a second litter box in the office.
Oh, that's funny.
She's like, you won't let me out, bitch. I'm going to make as much noise as possible. I'm going to poop in here.
I'm going to leave all of this in.
Oh, now she's scooting her butt across the carpet.
Oh, no. Go fix it. Do you have a water bottle? Spray her.
I'm going to let Soba chase her out.
Nice little butt track, poop track.
Buddy, do you have poop stuck to your belly?
What is up with your cats and poop?
No. Okay. It was a piece of kibble that looked like poop that was stuck to his belly fur that the second I pulled it off, he's like, oh, food, let me eat it.
Are you sure it was food?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, how kind of you, willing to grab it with it even if it was poop? That's being a cat mom for you.
That is being a cat mom. Do we want to talk about Ethan himself?
Yeah. Let's talk about Ethan himself. I'm trying to remember.
I enjoyed Ethan. I thought they were a good duo that really played off each other very well, him and Sunny.
Yeah.
I liked his confidence, but also his almost boyish adoration of her.
Yeah.
He came across to me as a young character, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah. He definitely was like someone who, in his mind, because when he does first meet her again, he's like, this is my childhood crush and I can have sex with her if I want to. Even though he's upset about his brother and he wants to save his brother, but it's kind of like, it really is it does scream, last time you saw me I was a scrawny 16-year-old, now I'm a hot 24-year-old, like ready to moan. So that air that vibe was there from the get-go, and I really liked it. And I liked it because it's also like her energy was also like, ooh, this younger guy, ew, no, okay, sure. You know what I mean? Like there was still a really cool dynamic between the two. And that's why like I actually don't know if I want a love triangle because I did like him. Like
I know,
I
I really, really liked him. But
yeah.
I really, really liked Ji-hoon too.
I'm not happy because
You know what? Maybe she ends up with both.
oh my god, can you imagine this? Look, she's got 9 tails. All right, she can fit 7 more.
Each man can have a tail. It's fine.
Exactly. This is I think this is a clue. I thought Ethan was normally when you get this like first love interest isn't the real love interest. There's something about him that's just kind of shitty, you know.
He's a really good guy.
He's a good guy, and even when he is shitty, it's because he's going through a lot of memories that he's getting for the first time.
Yeah.
It's allowed. Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Oh, like what was it? I'm trying to remember. There's a point where, you know, he gets jealous of Jin-hoon, you know, like when he's kind of holding Sunny at the end and trying to, you know, he just kind of like gets on in there. I like his commitment, like Ethan's commitment to her and dedication of like, just let me be with you, show me, like, give me a chance. I want to earn you. Like he's saying all the right things and he's doing
really
all the
is.
right stuff. I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted.
A genuine conflicted.
Yeah. This is giving me Lightlark confliction again.
I know. I was just thinking that. I'm like, ugh, more books need to make me genuinely want the protagonist to be with both men.
The difference between this one and Lightlark is that Lightlark, neither of the characters were funny.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Ethan and Jin-hoon are both funny. Yeah. And now I don't like it because this just got personal. Because now I want both of them. Yeah. We need to send her a DM. If this isn't Why Choose, then I don't know how I can continue.
Yeah, seriously. Speaking of which, we do have a signed copy of this book to give away.
We do. You got to meet her.
Yes. So we met her briefly the first night of RomantasyCon.
We did? We did. She was at the bar that we went and sat down. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And then I went back later and got copies of her book, which she spray painted the edges herself.
Ooh.
So they are a nice shade of red. It is a beautiful book.
It's in my closet. I don't know what it looks like.
Do I have mine handy?
Did you get one for yourself?
I did. I must not have gotten my copy from you because I don't see it. All 3 copies might be at your place.
Was one of those yours?
Yes. One copy's yours, one copy's mine, one is for a giveaway.
I get a copy? I'm excited. I want a copy.
Yeah.
Is it a hardback?
Yeah, it's a hardback. It's a great book.
I love it. Yeah. So was this the one where you went up to her and you're like, tell me why I should have you on the podcast?
Yes. Yeah. No, I think I went up to her. She was one of the first authors I went up to and I said, I have a podcast. We analyze romantasy books. Give me your elevator pitch about why a reader would be interested in your book.
This is why I sent you to go do this, because I literally came back to Amy. I was like, I can't talk to authors. This is too much. No.
So she gave me her elevator pitch, and then I was like, okay, I will buy 3, and I would like to take a picture with you.
All right, we'll have to post that photo too once it's time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is another situation where I really enjoyed this book. The only notes I have is wanting to have more of characters.
Yeah. And that is the best note to get.
Yeah. Like, oh, Jayci, what do I wish you have done? Give me more. Like, yeah, add another couple hundred so I can have more time with Jin-hoon. That's
Ji-hoon.
Ji-hoon.
Uh-huh.
Ji-hoon. That's what I would like, is more time with him and Haley. And wait, there was the other funny guy. Hold on. I have it here.
Jae-sok?
Yep, thank you.
Jae-sok, yeah.
Did you see the panic in my eyes?
I heard it in her voice. I wasn't even looking at you.
Jae-sok. Uh-huh. I thought Jae-sok was also hilarious. Like, there was just a lot of this group of characters. I want more of them. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited to know that we're going to get a whole lot more of them in the next book.
Yeah.
Especially Draco.
Especially Draco. He was a glimmer. I don't think I have enough time to say how many, like, all the good things I feel about this book.
Yeah.
I think it was the first book in a long time that I was like, wow, I feel like I can't anticipate things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm in something original. I feel like I'm with characters that all around, all of them I appreciate. I even appreciated what's his face from Roxy's or from work.
Frank or Tony or something. Yeah. Yeah, Frank. Like that was I forgot about that too. Each character was very distinct and vivid.
Yeah, I could see them. I saw it cinematically in my brain.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
really, really enjoyed like the entire journey.
Agreed. Highly recommend it. Even if
Highly.
you've listened to this point and we've spoiled some things for you.
So worth it.
So worth it.
I just want to read it again just to see what things I missed.
Yeah. 10 out of 10. Would love to do again. Can't wait for the next one. And, you know, I hope you guys stick around for the giveaway that we do.
Yeah, check it out. If you're not already following us for whatever reason, go follow us.
I know, if you made it to this point, like you don't know who we are. Do you know who I am?
No, Jac, I don't.
Don't you wish? Don't you wish? All right. Oh, we don't have to wrap it up because we already did.
We already did the outro.
It feels so weird. Okay.
Bye.
No. Awesome.
Let's wrap it up.
No, your goodbye was great. If you guys haven't seen the video, go watch the video. Amy is stunning today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. My eye's swollen. Hey, they can't see the rash, so that's fine.
It's behind your head. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Book Talk for Book Talk with Jac and Amy. We encourage you to rate and subscribe to our show on your preferred podcast listening platform.
We would love to hear your thoughts based on today's conversation. If you'd like to submit your take on any of the books we plan to discuss later this spring, please be sure to follow us on Instagram, where we ask for listener submissions.
If you're enjoying the podcast, please visit our website, booktalkforbooktalk.com, to view our latest merch and learn about supporting the show through Patreon or Venmo. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube at the handle Book Talk for Book Talk. Bye.
I do not have any makeup because I am a woman who's falling apart. My eye is super swollen. I have rashes behind my ears because I borrowed Nicole's gold hoop earrings, which were...
Oh no.
That's how sensitive my skin has become to metal.
Oh, that sucks.
And I was like, so I can only go from solid gold? And she was like, with your skin, it has to be 24 carats or 18 carats.
Shit.
Can you imagine now of being like, someone being like, hey baby, I want to buy you jewelry. Thank you, but I can only do 24 or 18 carats.
Most people are glad if they can even afford 14 carats.
I know, my skin is so much more bougie than my wallet. Skin, we can't afford this. So
yeah, seriously.
Yes.